Hello and welcome back to the David67 Celtic News YouTube channel. Today's video going to be primarily a wee update on quite a number of transfer rumours in and out, with quite a lot of speculation regarding obviously Matt O'Riley leaving, but also some very firm stories suggesting Celtic might well be on the verge of signing their new number one goalkeeper for next season. Those stories yet to be fully confirmed, plus also a few rumours of players coming in, and also who is liable to be in the clear out at Celtic over this summer. Before we crack on with the video, please do, if you are new to the channel, do consider clicking that subscribe button, get the subscriber numbers up to 500, move me on to being a level 2 YouTube creator, which does open up the channel to having a few extra features available for viewers and subscribers. Also, please, if you do like the video, click the like button. It does help with YouTube getting more people to see the video, to see if they like the channel as well. And as always, do feel free to pop your comments into the comment section regarding this video or other Celtic issues at the moment. Keep those comments, though, if you can, polite, informative, respectful, etc., etc. So, first big news is Celtic do appear to have made a very firm, formal bid for Ugurcan Cakir, the Turkish international goalkeeper at Trabzonspor. Cakir is said to be very keen to leave Turkish football this season and move on to more regular top-level games, and it is said that Celtic have made a firm, definite £6.4 million bid for him, €7.5 million, and he is Celtic are one of two teams who have made a formal bid for him. The other being Al Ahly in the Saudi League, who are said to have offered €10 million for him. It's thought, however, Celtic are at the top of the queue between them and Al Ahly, and also Roma and Nantes in France have registered interest but no formal bid. The reason I suggest that things may well have moved on in terms of transfer confirmation is that Celtic are confirmed to have had several meetings with Cakir's management, also with his lawyer, and Brendan Rodgers apparently has had a Zoom call with Cakir to discuss the club, his role, etc., etc. So it does appear that Celtic are well down the line with signing Cakir to take over from Joe Hart at the start of next season. Just a wee reminder, Cakir, 28 years old, currently the captain of Trabzonspor, number one goalkeeper for Turkey, having had 27 caps for them. 6'3", so good size for a goalkeeper, not as quite as big as Joe Hart, who's up at 6'5", 6'6", however, is a good height for a goalkeeper, I think. His season record at Trabzonspor, 40 games and 12 clean sheets, 70% save rate, which is pretty decent, and 1.3 goals per game conceded. The 70% success rate in saves is a very good stat. Conceding goals can be down to defensive problems, etc. And so I think the stats are good for Cakir as well. And so it will be very interesting to see where that turns out. Celtic also said to be interested in Alex McCarthy, back up at Southampton, 34 years old, has one England cap and 3 under-21 caps for England. Apparently has played 7 games for Southampton this season with a couple of clean sheets. His save rate is down at 65%, so poorer than Cakir's, and conceding 1.98 goals per game. Again, maybe down to defence, maybe down to him. Certainly his save rate is poorer than Cakir. However, it's said that Liverpool and Newcastle are both looking at signing McCarthy to be their experienced backup goalkeeper for next season, and also said to be on the radar for quite a number of the Saudi League sides. And so I think McCarthy is an unlikely signing for Celtic. One last player said to be potentially coming into Celtic, Jake Clarke-Salter of Queen's Park Rangers, 26-year-old central defender, was on Chelsea's books for a number of years, was sent out on loan multiple times but never really settled, has been at QPR for a couple of seasons, had a slightly in and out season last season, but the season just ended. He did have a very successful season for Queen's Park Rangers, although they were languishing just around about the relegation zone in the Championship, but have survived until next season. Jake Clarke-Salter did suggest he's quite happy where he is. He's recently bought a new house in London, and it doesn't appear that he's at this point keen to leave QPR. It's said to be being looked at by Wolves and Crystal Palace in the English Premier League, and also Burnley, who have been relegated back to the Championship yet again. And again, I suspect that JCS's future probably lies either at Queen's Park Rangers or one of the English team options. But we'll see how that pans out. Celtic have been said to have made a formal inquiry, and they've been quoted a £5 to £7 million transfer fee, and it would appear that Celtic are more than willing to pay that for JCS, and so we'll see how that pans out over the next few weeks as Queen's Park Rangers season is now over, and the current management will be looking to see who comes, who goes, who stays. Talking of players leaving the club, the main rumour is Matt O'Riley. I think he's almost certain to be leaving Celtic in the summer. It's said that Celtic are actively inquiring with two of the top six in the English Premier League currently over O'Reilly's transfer to them for next season. I would seriously doubt that either Man City or Arsenal are looking at him, given the strength of Liverpool's midfield and the fact that they are transitioning from Klopp to Slot. I don't think that Liverpool would be one of them, which leaves Aston Villa in fourth, Tottenham Hotspur in fifth, and Newcastle in sixth as being the last three of the top six could be interested in him. I think Spurs is a very obvious place for him, and Postecoglou signed him in the winter window of that first season and thought he was a player of great promise, and he's more than fulfilled that over the last season especially. Newcastle had been previously said to be looking at him as well. Having watched Aston Villa last night on the television against Liverpool, I think also O'Riley would upgrade their midfield alongside John McGinn and Douglas Luiz. No formal bid, no formal actual negotiations at reaching advanced stages, but it does look like O'Riley might be going to one of Spurs, Aston Villa or Newcastle for next season, and remembering also Inter Milan, Girona and Atletico Madrid all made inquiries or actual bids in the winter window, and I dare say all of those will be coming back for him. However, I think we have to resign ourselves to saying that we're likely only to be seeing Matt O'Riley in a Celtic strip a maximum of 3 more times, and it could well be that both he and Joe Hart play their last game for Celtic in a couple of Saturdays' time in the cup final against Rangers. Quite a number of Celtic players are said to be getting cleared out in the summer. Adam Montgomery, who recently signed a new contract with Celtic, keeping him at the club for 3 years, is expected to be sent out on a season-long loan, most likely to one of the other Scottish Premiership sides. He's recovering from a major leg injury he suffered at Motherwell when he was on loan at them in January onwards. He's recovered from that leg injury, and it's thought that as part of his rehab, he'll be sent out on a season-long loan to a fellow Scottish Premiership club. In terms of leaving the club fully, of course, Joe Hart is retiring after the Rangers Cup final. James McCarthy still has 1 year left on his contract at Celtic. However, it's thought that that year will be paid off in full and his contract terminated, and McCarthy will at last leave the club. Liam Shaw, who played briefly under Ange Postecoglou at the start of Ange's first season, then has been off on loan to teams such as Wigan. It's thought he will be leaving the club, either having his contract terminated or more likely a free transfer to one of several interested clubs in England. It's thought quite strongly that Mikey Johnston will be sold to West Bromwich Albion, who are very keen to keep him. They are in the Premier League playoffs in England, and it's said that West Brom are happy to pay up to £10 million for Mikey Johnston, and I would be recommending very fully that Celtic take that money for Mikey Johnston, and it may well be that away from the pressure of playing for Celtic in Scotland, that Mikey Johnston's career flourishes, as he has done well so far for West Brom. Another player who's currently on loan in England, Sead Haksabanovic, will be coming back to us. It's not thought that he has a future at Celtic. It kind of looks like he burned his boats in terms of relationship with the squad and with Rodgers. Stoke have no intention of keeping him now that his loan has ended, and so it's thought that Haksabanovic will be off to pastures new, and I would expect that we could certainly easily get a few million for him. As it said, there are several European clubs keen to sign him for next season. Both Paolo Bernardo and Idah, their loans will be ending after the Rangers match. It's thought that Celtic are negotiating with Benfica to bring Paolo Bernardo back for a fee of around £6 million, and also thought that Celtic are negotiating strongly with Norwich to bring Idah back for a fee of around £4 to £5 million. I personally would be very happy to see both Idah and Paolo Bernardo come back, and I think Idah has fitted into the club very well, and I think he's also shown that he's happy with his role of being a backup to Kyogo, an occasional starter, and a regular bench substitute appearance rate as well. A couple of centre backs also said to be on their way out of the club. Yuki Kobayashi, who has never really settled down after his transfer in from Japan under Ange Postecoglou, did have a few games at the start of that spell, but very much fell out of favour under Brendan Rodgers. There were rumours of a loan or transfer back to Japan in the winter window, and also rumours of a loan or transfer to Major League Soccer, but all those fell through. But it is expected that a permanent transfer back to Japanese football will be negotiated this summer for Kobayashi. And interestingly, it's thought that Mike Nawrocki is the most likely of the two summer signings from last summer to be leaving the club in the summer, i.e., it's thought more likely that Gustav Lagerbielke will be staying and that Mike Nawrocki will be leaving. Quite a number of big European clubs are said to be making inquiries about buying Nawrocki for next season. I think personally both Nawrocki and Lagerbielke have a future at Celtic. I think they're definitely better than Scales, better than Welsh, who both appear to be ahead of them in the queue. But neither Nawrocki nor Lagerbielke appears to be the flavour of the month with Rodgers, although, as I said, the inside stories are that Nawrocki is more likely to leave and Lagerbielke more likely to be staying. And one final story, also relating to our central defenders. There were a few stories and rumours that Cameron Carter-Vickers was being highly sought after by a number of Turkish Super League clubs. Sources close to Carter-Vickers has said that he has no intention of leaving Celtic and has no interest at all in going to play in the Turkish league, and so it does look like those several stories online and through the sports and football papers are untrue. So I think we can rest assured that Carter-Vickers is with us for another season or two at the very least, and potentially even in the longer term after that. So that finishes things off for today. Tomorrow we'll be doing our formal preview of the Celtic Kilmarnock match, a game where we could and should confirm the title, assuming that Dundee don't get any points off Rangers tonight in their game. So, as before, please do consider subscribing, liking, and adding comments to the comment section. And so, until tomorrow's video, goodbye and hail, hail.